Two things. The first thing is being a senior financial analyst and having to do the work and understanding what the work is on the front line prepared me because in the end, that's really where all the action happens on the front line. And then the second thing that I think about is I had a corporate role when I was at Intel. And in that corporate role, I supported the CFO directly. And I got to sit in rooms with people like Andy Grove and Gordon Moore, who thought about the business in ways I didn't even contemplate. And so that really helped me understand that the big role that you have when you're the CFO is really understanding the business and understanding the strategy and help bringing it to life by driving it through the operational indicators in a P&L, balance sheet, and cash flow. It's so interesting. I really was only going to be there 5 years. That was my plan. And the reason that was my plan is because I really thought, well, then I'll be done. I'll have learned everything, and then I'll need to go on to the next thing. And to me, it's all about learning. It's all about, continuing to kind of push yourself and learn more things. Well, I didn't run out of learning things because I found that each time I got, one of the great things at Intel is I rotated. I did lots of different jobs. I wasn't in the same job more than 2 years. And each time I got pushed out of my comfort zone and I had to start again. But you're starting again with experience. And so for me, the reason I stayed so long, and I never planned on staying this long, by the way, I was there 29 years. And, if you would have told me that in the beginning, I would have said, no, there's no possibility. There's zero possibility that's going to happen. But it was just so much to learn and so much to understand and build on. And I felt like I worked at a lot of different companies over those years because I had assignments in the PC group. I had assignments in what was known as, the entry-level products group where we're inventing notebooks, which everybody thought was lunatic fringe stuff at the time. And then I got to move into the data center. I got to move into supply chain, just all sorts of things. And then the corporate job that really was a seminal experience for me. And so I just didn't run out of things to do. And I think, to me, the main thing is, how do you always push yourself? How do you always learn new things? How do you get yourself out of your comfort zone? And that kept happening. So I didn't have the occasion to, want to leave or push myself to want to leave. But, it came up, offers came up and things came up. And then I would compare and contrast and say, wow, but there's more for me to do here. And so that's why that journey turned out to be 29 years. Well, it was really unique. I was at Intel during the time when still the founders were there. And, Andy Grove, Gordon Moore, some of the people that founded it. And it was called constructive confrontation, which at first was very jarring because I had come, before going to grad school, I had worked in insurance companies, which are super buttoned down type of organizations. And I came to Intel and it was like a little chaotic. And it was chaotic in that we were inventing things. And as a part of inventing things, a lot of things go wrong along the road of inventing things. You look back and you think, oh, well, the invention of the microprocessor, I'm sure that was just, 1 + 1 = 2. No, absolutely not. A lot of things went wrong along the road. And so Andy Grove had this culture called constructive confrontation, where you confront the problem. You're not confronting the people, but you're confronting the problem. You're confronting the issue. And you want to do that so that you get all the input on the table, so that you get all the perspectives on the table. Because when you're solving a complex problem, you're not going to have an easy solution. So you need to get lots of perspectives on the table, and you need people to be able to be open and air issues and air problems. And I thought it was great once I got over the, shock of, we're here solving problems. We're not here attacking one another. And so I felt like it was a great environment because problems happen. And if your first response to a problem is, let's get that thing on the table and let's, take it out, then you're gonna take the company in a whole different direction than if you bury problems, than if you're not willing to discuss the problems. And so I thought it was a great culture, and it really helped me formulate how I think about things. How do we deep dive into things that went wrong so that we can learn, so that we can do things better? There's a lot of different paths. So I think as many different people as there are different paths and there's different interests. For me, my interest was really, and the way I've always thought about myself as a business leader first. Because in the end, being a finance professional, you're not managing numbers, you're managing a business. And the numbers are the outcome of the business. And so as I went through kind of my journey, what I really focused on is how do I increase my remit in terms of managing the business. And so I had, division jobs that are smaller, profit and loss statements up to the CFO, which ultimately you're responsible for the entire group's profit and loss statement. And that includes strategic planning, that includes budgeting and planning. So really all the aspects and then all the financial reporting around that. And there are multiple paths. And as I coach people through my career, I always was really focused on what's most interesting to them because there isn't one way to have a career. And if you're interested in it and it makes you want to jump out of bed every day, then that's a great career. If you find yourself not wanting to get out of bed, then you picked the wrong path. So I don't think there's any one way for people to lead their career. And that's sort of the way that I chose. I chose things that I didn't know something about that would help me build on the next thing.